All right, today we are going to talk about the very last lesson of Unit 4, Dividing Polynomials using synthetic division. Now, synthetic division is very similar to what we were doing yesterday. We just do it in a different way. So we are still dividing a polynomial, but this time it has to be whenever we have a binomial with a degree of 1. So it's a variable not raised to any power, and then a constant that's being added or subtracted to it. This is going to be a quicker and simpler method of division, but it does have to meet those criteria of a binomial that we are dividing by with a degree of 1. All right, so the way we do this is a 5-step process. I'm just going to show you how to do it and walk you through it as we do it. So the first thing we're going to do is check to make sure that it's in standard form, and if any terms are missing, we're going to fill in those terms with a 0 term. All right, as a placeholder. And then we're going to write the constant a of the divisor x minus a in the box. So it's supposed to be x minus a. If it's x plus a, then it's like subtracting a negative. It becomes adding a positive. So we're going to write the opposite, which would be negative 3 in the box. So in this case, since it is x plus 3, we're going to write a negative 3 in the box. And then we're going to write our constants, our coefficients out, 3, negative 2, negative 53, and negative 60 out, like that. Now, the very last part of step 1 is bring the first coefficient down. So we're going to bring it down just like that, and the 3 goes there. All right, the next thing we're going to do, step 2, is we're going to multiply the number just written in the bottom row by our a, which is negative 3. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then we are going to add the product in the coefficient that was above it. So negative 9 plus negative 2 is negative 11. Then we're going to multiply again. Negative 3 times negative 11 is positive 33. Then we're going to add again. Negative 53 plus 33 is negative 20. Then we're going to multiply again. Negative 3 times negative 20 is positive 60. Then we're going to add again 0. And we get 3, negative 11, and negative 20 with a 0 as a remainder. So I want you to go ahead and put a little line there in front of that last number. That is our remainder. All right, so we have divided by a x to the first power, which means that we have lowered the degree of this polynomial by 1. So the power of the first term is 1 less than the degree of the dividend. So the degree of the dividend was x to the third. So this is going to be 3x squared minus 11x minus 20. And that is our quotient. All right, this works as well without with the divisors other than 1. I'm going to show you how to get a coefficient with, how to do this with a coefficient other than 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide to make our leading coefficient be 1. So we're going to divide that bottom by 2, and we're going to divide our top by 2. And when we do that, our top now becomes x minus 1/2. So what goes in the box is 1/2. And on top, 4 divided by 2 is 2. We don't have a x to the third term, so that's going to be 0, and 0 divided by 2 is still 0. Then we have negative 37 divided by 2, and then we have 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and then we have 9 divided by 2, which is 9/2. All right, so now bring the coefficient down to 1/2 of 2. We'll do the same process over again. Multiply the a, 1/2, times our coefficient that we brought down, so 1/2 of 2 is 1. And then we add 0 plus 1 is 1. 1/2 of 1 is, or 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. And 1/2 minus 37/2 is negative 36/2, which does simplify to negative 18. And then half of negative 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. Negative 7 times a half is negative 7/2. And then 9/2 minus 7/2 is 2/2, or 1. And so that is our remainder of 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this. We're going to lower our degree by 1. So instead of x to the fourth, it's x to the third. Plus 1, x squared. We don't need the 1. We can just write x squared. minus 18x minus 7, and then we have our remainder, 1 over x minus 1/2. Now, I want to get rid of that 1/2. So in order to do that, I need to multiply that by 2. So this is 2x cubed plus x squared minus 18x minus 7 plus 2 over 2x minus 1. So we multiplied everything by 2 there, top and bottom. Remember, anytime I multiply the top and the bottom by the same number, it's like multiplying by 1. So that gives us that 2 over 2x minus 1, and now we don't have a fraction in the denominator there. All right, so here's another practice problem. So we're asked to find 4x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 12x squared minus x plus 6 times 4x plus 3 to the negative first. Now when we multiply by something by and raise it to the power of -1, that's like we can do 4x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 12x squared minus x plus 6 over 4x plus 3. So we are dividing by 4x plus 3. That's what taking something to the negative first power does. All right, so we are ready to set up our problem, and we need a leading coefficient on the denominator of 1, so we need to divide by 4. We're going to divide both top and bottom by 4. So the whole thing, we divide everything by 4. So that means the number in the box, instead of being -3, it's going to be -3/4. And our coefficients, we're going to divide all those by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 3 divided by 4 is 3/4. -12 divided by 4 is -3. -1 divided by 4 is -1/4. And 6 divided by 4 is 6/4, which simplifies to 3/2. So, just like we were doing, we'll bring our 1 down, our leading coefficient down, and then we multiply it by -3/4. Well, 3/4 minus 3/4 is 0. -3/4 times 0 is 0. Then so that brings down a -3. -3 times -3/4 is -9/4, or positive 9/4, because negative times a negative. And 9/4 minus 1/4 is 8/4, which is simplified to 2. And then 2 times -3/4 is -6/4, which simplifies to -3/2. And 3/2 minus 3/2 is 0. So our remainder is 0. And what we're left with is x to the 3rd, because we drop it down a degree. There's no x squared term, so then it's minus 3x plus 2. And that is our final answer. All right, so now we've got some practice problems here. In class, they were asked to do those on their own. I would encourage you to pause the video right now and work through it yourself, and resume playing afterwards, because I'll go through it. So go ahead and pause it now and work through these. All right, so you should have had some time to work through these problems. So we are going to set them up. 4 goes in the box, and then let's see, we got 1, we got -4, we got 1, we got -6, and we've got 8. So we bring the 1 down. 1 times 4 is 4. -4 plus 4 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. -6 plus 4 is -2. And -2 times 4 is -8. And 8 minus 8 is 0. So what we're left with is k to the 3rd. And then there's no k squared term, so it's plus k minus 2 and no remainder. That's our remainder. So that is our quotient there. And then we'll try another one here. We got 4 in the box again. Coefficient of 2, -13, 23, -2. So we can bring the 2 down. 2 times 4 is 8. -13 plus 8 is -5. -5 times 4 is -20. 23 minus 20 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 2 is 10. So this time we do have a remainder. We're going to have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 plus 10 over x minus 4. And that is our final answer. All right, if you have any questions, please shoot me an email or a Canvas message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a wonderful day.